4 years ago, I had 3 full-time jobs. I was in the Army, I was working security guards, and I was also working as a construction worker, $14 an hour, and writing copy while on my lunch breaks. Needless to say, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I made every single mistake you could possibly make, and I've now been able to make a 7-figure business and have students close gigantic whale clients and also make 6 figures and make a whole playlist about their wins and things. And through all the things that I've learned and I know now, if I were to start over in 2026, I would do things completely differently. And that's what I'm going to cover here in this video. If you're trying to break into this industry, there's 5 really big shifts that you need to understand and you need to know before you're even ready to start. So let's get into it. And also, huge disclaimer, I'm not the guy who started and allegedly started making like 20K a month on his first month. And I think that you should be very wary of anybody telling you any such things, because let's just use a modicum of common sense here. Are there really people who are able to just start something and then, yeah, bro, easily, it was a couple hours per day and I was making 30K per month, 50K per month, and it was just super easy. And they just so happen to have some sort of course or something on the subject matter. But nope, that wasn't me. My first deal was for $300 and I was writing tons of emails, tons of automations, doing email deliverability fixes, sales pages, and literally everything that you can think of. I was literally just getting worked like crazy for this couple $100s. But you know what? I got something even more valuable than money, which was experience, which I want to share with you here today. First shift that I would recommend to you is to start first and refine later. You want to start first instead of getting caught in an endless loop of learning more and learning more and learning more. Because the more you learn, the harder it is to take action. And you start to build up this anxiety in front of you, which is like, I want to be productive. So instead of doing the thing that might cost me my ego or cost me some rejection, I'm just going to do the thing that feels a lot safer, which is watching some content, learning some stuff, reading some stuff, maybe writing some copy in my bedroom, but not actually sending it to anybody. And I've seen this time and time again with all of the copywriters that I've talked to and coached as well. I would honestly start writing copy and sending outreach from day 1 and not from day 30, not from day 60. Now, a lot of people are going to have a huge objection right here, but Tyson,
You're telling me I'm going to be able to get a client on day 1 when I have literally no idea what I'm doing?
I'm not even saying that you should outreach in order to get a client. I'm saying you should outreach because you want to get past the period of you not being very good at it, the period of sucking as early as possible. Action always cures anxiety. I would rather you be one of the people who's outreaching really poorly, copy is not very good, but at least you're trying early on and going through the actions to actually get better, rather than being that person who's just sitting there and trying to learn and not iterating anything at all. The second huge shift is to understand that copy belongs in context. And when you learn the context, you're going to be paid much higher and you're going to get clients way faster. What I mean is that most copywriters think that their job is writing words, but this is farthest thing from the truth. This might be what the dude who makes $30,000 a year in an office copywriting job does. He might do that, but that is not what you want to be. You want to be a freelance copywriter with multiple clients paying you multiple thousands of dollars so you can make an over 6-figure or multi-6-figure income. You could do that, but not just by writing the words, or at least it's not as likely, because businesses don't care about good words. They care about results. They care about money. They care about ROI. They care about return on ad spend. You can write them the best email in the world, has the perfect hook, has the storytelling, it has an amazing CTA, but if it doesn't bring in dollars, they literally just don't care. You are supposed to be an ROI machine where someone puts in $3 and they get out $10, because anybody who gets that sort of deal is going to be putting in as much money as they can as long as they're getting the ROI out. You need to be ROI focused as a copywriter if you're going to make this work and not words focused, especially going into 2026, because as you guys know, AI is just having a complete takeover. Every offer has AI slapped onto it. Every business owner just thinks that they can go to ChatGPT and get it to write them emails or write them sales pages. But the real business owners understand they want everybody on their team to use AI so that they can increase their production as much as possible. So you should be using it to your own advantage, and you should be the one putting in the humanized elements and making the strategy behind it too. So here's what I mean by copy in context. You need to understand the marketing message, the funnels, the low ticket funnels, the high ticket funnels, the VSL funnels, the book a call funnels. You need to understand intimately all of the funnels and all of the things that's going on in the business. It takes people from seeing the business for the first time and knowing what it is to buying more stuff, to buying higher price stuff, and to keep paying over time. And if you just think you're going to come on and just write some emails for the guys, really, you're not going to be able to put your copy in the best position for it to perform. So for example, if you don't understand email marketing or you don't have any strategy over the email marketing, you might be sending an amazing email to a huge list of dead subscribers, meaning people who don't actually open, don't send you messages back. They're just people who used to look at your emails, but now they don't. Or for example, let's say you're making an email sequence, but you don't understand where the traffic is actually coming from. You're making an email sequence for when people first get on the email list, but you're making it for buyers, let's say, instead of people who are completely cold. So you're going to treat a list of buyers way different than a list of people who are completely cold. To the buyers, you're going to get them to buy more. You're going to promote to them a little bit more often, and you can talk to them a little bit more frankly. But to the new people, you usually want to give them more free value, get them to watch more content, and get them to understand more stuff and teach them more and give them some more belief shifts so that they're more primed to buy down the line. But if you don't understand that delineation, again, it doesn't matter how good the words are, they're just not going to perform. Shift number 3 is to hone in your AI skills from day one. Don't wait to start the AI thing, but also don't depend on AI. Don't just go to ChatGPT, say, make me these emails, and then copy paste it into a doc and say, yo, Tyson, can you review my copy? That's not how it works. Instead, you want to be using AI early on, but you also want to be using AI to understand whatever it is you're trying to do. If you don't understand how to make your copy in context, then go to AI and ask it. A student just recently asked me, yo, Tyson, I don't know how to actually fix email deliverability in an email service provider, meaning getting the emails that the business sends out to end up in people's primary tabs where they get a higher open rate rather than the promotions tab, which is a low open rate, with a spam tab, which gets almost no open rate. I could sit there and answer them. I could sit there and say, oh yeah, you need to do all these things, DKIM, SPF, spam words, less pictures, less links. But again, they just go to ChatGPT and ask it. And if they have a more specific question, like, hey, my client is getting a 10% open rate, what does this mean? Does it mean they're landing in spam? Does it mean they're landing in promo? What should I do? Again, that's a ChatGPT question right there. ChatGPT will tell you, well, you need to create a brand new email address. You need to send the emails to that address and then see exactly what happens. Because then you have the access to that email. Does it land in their promo tab? Does it land in their primary tab? Or does it land in their spam? You're gonna be able to diagnose the problem. But you're only able to know that if you use AI as your consultant. Otherwise, you're just gonna be asking random questions to random people. Most people aren't gonna know or aren't gonna understand. The people who do know or do understand, you're probably not gonna be able to get a hold of them very easily. So you need to be able to be very resourceful with things like ChatGPT. Huge shift number 4 is to build a fishbowl personal brand. There was this time where I was looking for apartments. I found this amazing apartment. As you can see, the studio is absolutely sick. But I was looking for apartments and I came across this really nice one. Right? It was high up. It had a really nice view and it was a corner unit. And all of the wall from the corner was all glass, right? Floor to ceiling glass, all of it. And it looked cool and everything. And I was like, this is awesome. We got the view. But I kind of felt like I was in a bit of a fishbowl, meaning that I had no privacy. Everyone could just see the inside from the outside. But this is exactly the type of marketing that you want in your personal brand. Let me explain. If you're going to build an Instagram, for example, you want to be able to build a personal brand that people can see what you're doing. They can see the inside. You're talking about products that you worked on for clients. You're talking about the different types of clients that you've closed. You're talking about the different types of problems that your clients have had and how you've solved them. You're talking about the different types of funnels that you've ran or promotions that you've ran or product launch sequences that you've ran with clients, what the results were like, some of the things that you've learned, et cetera, et cetera. And building a personal brand like this, you're gonna have some of the best social proof that you can really imagine because you're gonna be outreaching to people on Instagram. You're not even gonna have to ask them to look at your profile. They're gonna look at your profile if they're even thinking about hiring you or even getting on a call with you. And what they see matters a lot. If they see 2 random photos and one of them is you out drinking with your buddies, then again, they're not going to want to get on a call with you. They're not going to want anything to do with you. But if you have posts from weeks ago, from months ago, talking about some wins that you've gotten for your previous clients, that right there tells them everything that they need to know. This guy didn't just start yesterday. Here's the proof because the posts are like months old. This guy actually gets results for his clients. This guy works with clients in the first place. And all of those greatly increase your social proof. And the 5th shift that I would understand, and it kind of goes with the copy and context, is to pick one skill that will compound your copywriting skill. Some of these skills, for example, are YouTube strategy, creative strategists, email marketing, funnel building, sales page building, landing page building, and some other ones that are around those topics. And the reason as to why is because, again, the more that you're able to control, the more that is on you, and the more responsibility that you have, the more that you can actually get paid. Now, of course, the very natural conclusion is, well, which one of these skills should I learn, and how should I learn them, and what should I do, and all these other questions. But I have made in-depth, extremely in-depth courses on all of these. I have a 16-hour course on this very channel. I have 1 and 2 hour courses on just email marketing alone, not just writing the emails, but going in and doing all the things inside the email service provider, creating automations, et cetera, et cetera. All of these skills are, again, right here for you to understand. And by learning as many of them as possible and understanding marketing, you're able to make better offers to business owners, get hired more often, get paid more, and overall, just be closer to the life that you want to live, the finances that you want to be, and everything in between. So you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Do these 5 things. You'll go way farther, way faster. And of course, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.